Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Journey Podcast. I'm Tom.
And I'm Emily. We are so excited you're tuning in today.
Today, we're navigating a very important topic. Literally, we're talking all about asking for and giving directions in English.
This is such a crucial skill, Tom. It's something every learner will need at some point. We've structured today's episode to guide you from the very basics to real-life application.
That's the plan. We'll start with essential vocabulary, then move to common phrases. After that, we'll practice with a short dialogue.
And we'll wrap up with some practical tips to make you feel more confident. Ready to find our way?
Let's get started. All right, let's kick things off with some basic but super important vocabulary. These are the words you'll hear all the time when people give or ask for directions.
To make it easier, we've broken it down into 3 small groups: directions, action words, and landmarks. Tom, why don't you start us off with directions?
My pleasure. When someone says, go north, or it's on your right, what do they mean? First, we have north, south, east, and west. These are the 4 main directions on a map or compass. For example, the river is east of the city center. Even if you're not great with maps, knowing these words helps a lot in big cities or train stations.
And much more common in everyday conversations are left and right. For example, you might hear, turn right at the corner, then left at the bakery. Simple, clear, and super useful.
Exactly. Next up, let's talk about action words. Emily, what are some key verbs we need to know?
Great question. These are the verbs people use when telling you what to do or where to go. Go straight. This just means keep moving forward, no turns. For instance, go straight for 2 blocks. Turn. This means to change your direction to the left or right. You can turn left or turn right. Walk. Very simple, just move on foot. Walk down the street until you see the museum.
What about when you need to get from one side of the street to the other?
That would be cross. For example, cross the street at the traffic light. Then there's pass, which means to go by a place. Like, pass the gas station and the library will be on your left.
And one more that's very useful is follow. You use this when the person should stay on a road or path, like follow Main Street until you reach the roundabout. These verbs really are the building blocks for clear instructions.
They are. And that brings us to our final group, landmarks. A landmark is something that helps people recognize where they are.
Let's list some common ones. A traffic light. That's the red, yellow, green light you stop at. An intersection, where 2 or more roads cross each other. A bridge. A structure that goes over a river, a road, or train tracks. A corner, where 2 streets meet. For example, the cafe is right on the corner.
And don't forget these 2. A roundabout, a circular road where cars drive around a center island instead of using stop signs. A pedestrian crossing, the white stripes on the road where people walk across safely. You might hear, cross at the pedestrian crossing.
So that's our quick tour of the essential vocabulary. Don't worry about memorizing everything at once. You'll hear these words again and again.
And in just a moment, we'll learn some useful phrases that combine these words into full sentences you can actually use.
Welcome back. Now that we've learned the essential vocabulary, let's take it one step further by putting those words into full sentences.
In this part, we'll look at some of the most common and useful phrases you can use. Tom, let's start with asking for directions. Imagine you're lost in a new city. What do you say?
Great place to start. You want to be polite and clear. Here are a few ways to do that. You can be short and direct with, excuse me, where is? For example, excuse me, where's the train station? Slightly more formal, but still very common is, how can I get to? As in, how can I get to the city center? An even more polite option is, could you tell me the way to? You might use this with strangers on the street. Could you tell me the way to the nearest hospital?
And what if you want to know about the distance?
A great follow-up question is it far from here? This is perfect when you're not sure if the place is walkable. All these questions are natural in English. My quick tip is to always start with excuse me It makes the conversation smoother and more respectful.
Excellent advice. Now let's flip it. Say someone asks you for directions. What are some simple and helpful phrases for giving directions?
I'm glad you asked. You want to be helpful without being confusing. Try these. Go straight ahead. This means keep walking forward, no turns yet. Turn left at the traffic light. Or you could say, turn right at the corner. You can switch it depending on where things are. It's on your left, or it's on your right. This is perfect for describing the final location.
That's a great breakdown, Tom. Could you give our listeners a couple of quick examples of how you might combine those phrases? It would be really helpful to hear them in action.
Absolutely. It's all about connecting them into a sequence. For instance, a simple instruction could be, go straight ahead for 1 block and turn right at the corner. You'll see the bakery on your left. Or a slightly more detailed one. From here, go straight ahead until you reach the main traffic light. Turn left there and walk for about 2 minutes. The post office will be on your right, just opposite a big park.
Those are perfect examples. They show exactly how these simple phrases build a clear map in your mind. And I noticed in your last example, you mentioned walk for about 2 minutes. Giving an idea of time or distance is also really helpful.
It is. You could say, it's about a 5-minute walk. And one of my favorites when something is easy to find is, you can't miss it. For example, there's a big red sign. You can't miss it.
These phrases may seem simple, but they're incredibly useful.
They really are. And in our next part, we're going to listen to a short sample dialogue where you'll hear all these phrases in action.
All right, now it's time to bring everything together: vocabulary, phrases, and real-world context in a practice conversation.
Tom and I are going to act out a dialogue. I'll be person A, a tourist asking for directions, and I'll try to use some of the strategies we discussed.
And I'll be person B, a local giving directions. Let's see how our vocabulary and phrases work in a slightly longer, more detailed conversation. Let's begin.
Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the public library? Is it far to walk from here?
Oh, no, it's not far at all. It's just about a 5-minute walk. First, go straight down this road for about 2 blocks.
Okay, so I go straight ahead for 2 blocks. Got it. What should I do after that?
At the end of the second block, you'll reach a big traffic light. You need to turn left there. After you turn, you'll walk past a large supermarket on your left side.
Perfect. So turn left at the traffic light and walk past the supermarket. And the library is on that street.
Exactly. Once you pass the supermarket, you'll see the library almost immediately on your right. It's a big brick building right next to the post office. You really can't miss it.
That's very clear. Straight for 2 blocks, left at the light, and it's on the right. Thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome. No problem at all. Have a great day.
Not too long, right? Now, let's take a moment to break that down a little. Emily, what did you notice?
Well, first the conversation starts politely with, "Excuse me, could you tell me?" Exactly the kind of polite and natural phrase we talked about earlier.
Right. And then the directions begin. Notice how the instructions are short and clear, one step at a time. Go straight, turn left, walk past. That's so important. When giving directions, don't give a huge list all at once. Break it into small, easy-to-follow steps.
I also noticed the use of landmarks. Walk past the supermarket, next to the post office. Landmarks like these make the instructions feel more real and are much easier to understand.
And finally, there's that friendly phrase we mentioned. You can't miss it. It's a great way to reassure the person that what they're looking for is very obvious and easy to find.
We hope that longer example gives you a better feel for a real conversation.
To help everyone really master these phrases, I think we should do a practical exercise. Emily is going to lead us through a short listen and repeat session.
That's a great idea, Tom. In this special practice section, we're going to say some of the most important phrases from today's listen. The goal is for you, our listeners, to listen carefully and repeat each phrase out loud during the pause.
This is one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation and build memory. Don't be shy, say it out loud. Ready? Let's start with phrases for asking for directions. Emily, you go first.
All right. I'll say the phrase, and you repeat it in the pause that follows. Let's go.
Excuse me, where is the nearest ATM? Excuse me, I'm looking for the Grand Hotel. Can you help me? How can I get to the main square? Could you tell me the way to the hospital? Is it far to walk from here? How do I get to the airport from here? What's the best way to get to the train station? Which way is the city center? Could you please show me on the map?
Great questions. Now let's practice phrases for giving directions. Remember to repeat after me. Go straight ahead for about 100 meters. Go straight ahead until you see the roundabout. At the roundabout, take the second exit. To get to the nearest subway station, turn left at the next intersection. Follow this road for about 500 meters. Turn right at the traffic light. Walk past the big church and cross the street. The entrance will be on your left. You can't miss it.
Excellent. Now for our final practice group. A huge part of giving directions is describing exactly where a place is. So let's practice some phrases for describing location. Listen and repeat after me. The pharmacy is next to the supermarket. The restaurant is opposite the bank. The museum is in front of the park. The small coffee shop is behind that tall building. My office is between the post office and the library. You'll find the entrance at the corner of Oak Street and Main Avenue.
Fantastic work, everyone. That was a lot of phrases, but practicing them out loud like this is the key to using them confidently in real life.
We couldn't agree more. And with all that practice fresh in your minds, let's move on to our final section, where we'll share some real-life tips to put it all together. Okay, so before we wrap up today's episode, we want to leave you with some real-life tips to help you feel more confident. These are small details, but they make a huge difference.
Let's break it into two parts: how to ask for directions and how to give them. Emily, why don't you start with tips for when you ask for directions?
Of course. Tip 1, always start with "excuse me." It's polite and makes people more willing to help. Tip 2, speak slowly and clearly. Even if you're nervous, try to stay calm. You don't need perfect grammar, just be clear and friendly. Tip 3, repeat the instructions. This helps you confirm you understood correctly. For example, so I go straight, then turn right at the traffic light, right? Tip 4, don't forget to say thank you. A simple "thanks a lot" or "I really appreciate it" goes a long way.
Those are fantastic tips. Now, for when you give directions, here are my suggestions. Tip 1, use landmarks. Instead of just saying turn left, say turn left after the gas station. People remember places more than street names. Tip 2, estimate distance or time. This helps the listener understand how far it is. For example, it's about a 5-minute walk, or it's around 200 meters from here. Tip 3, keep it simple. Break instructions into steps. Don't overwhelm the person. Say 1 or 2 directions at a time. Tip 4, check for understanding. You can end by asking, "Did you get that?" or "Is that clear?" It's a kind way to make sure they're not lost again 5 minutes later.
And Tom, what if you don't know the way?
Great question. Here's a bonus tip. Be honest. Just say, "Sorry, I'm not from around here." People will appreciate your honesty.
And there you have it, some simple but powerful tips to help you handle real-life situations with ease and confidence.
Whether you're traveling abroad or just helping a tourist in your own city, giving directions is one of the most useful communication skills you can have. Thanks for sticking with us through today's episode.
We hope it was helpful, and most of all, we hope you'll start using these phrases the next time someone asks, "Excuse me, how do I get to?"
See you next time on the English Journey podcast. Safe travels and happy learning.